Yeah, there we go.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, Armed American Radio's Daily Defense on dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of radio stations around the nation. We are live with you here in the CZ Studios at the Patriot Mobile Command Center on the Patriot Mobile Command Center microphone. Of course, it's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Greg in Dallas, Texas, how you doing this morning, brother?
Not too bad. Morning, afternoon.
Did I say morning?
You did.
well, you know, I didn't get up till 11 o'clock today. Was that might be why.
Wow.
Yeah,
you got plenty of sleep.
My puppy dog woke me up at 2:15 and said, ruff, 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 until I got up and took her outside in the rain and stand out there with her for a little while. So at that point, I was just up. Then I fell back asleep around 8 o'clock, and boom, 11 was here. And here we are on the radio for you. Greg, we're live on Facebook for you today, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch the program, please don't do that while you're driving. Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Greg, I'll let you do your spewel. We're working on Rumble. Those of you that like to watch the show on Rumble, it's Rumble's fault, not ours, but we're getting close to fixing that problem over there. So we should be back up there soon. Take it away. And then we'll go to the SHOT Show floor in Vegas for this segment with Scott Coburn from Patriot Mobile.
All right. Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. You can also watch us over on X at AAR Mark. And lastly, if you'd like to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
That'll do it. Let's, Greg, let's take a trip to Vegas. What do you say?
Here we go.
Here we go. Scott Coburn, Patriot Mobile, live on the shot floor in Vegas at the Patriot Mobile Command Center booth. Scott, welcome into the Patriot Mobile Command Center. How you doing, brother?
Well, I tell you what, Mark, I'm hanging in there. It's you know what this show's all about.
Yeah.
And here we are, day 3, and I'm hanging on, man. But I'm telling you, I'm energized by hanging out here with all my 2A crazies. These are my peeps, and we're having fun out here. We're making some noise.
Well, I miss you guys, and this is the first time in 26 years that I'm not there, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So let's talk a little bit about the show. You're the first person that we've had on that's live in Las Vegas, Scott. I've heard a lot of different feedback, and I'm watching it, of course, and everything else, and I'm texting and talking to a lot of people throughout the days. So you're day 3 out there now. How's the crowd look?
I'm telling you, Mark, it just comparing it to last year, there's definitely appears or feels like there's more people here.
Wow.
There's just there's a little more energy. The after parties have been rocking. It's just been good. We did the Gundies again this year on Monday night, and it was packed, man. I don't know that there was an empty seat in the theater there. It's been good. The crowd's into it. It's one of my favorite shows, and here we go.
And thank you for doing that, by the way. I was nominated as well. Did not make it. Just fell short of making the top 5, but was honored and proud to have been nominated to begin with. And I did watch you guys up there knock it out of the park, and Patriot Mobile's doing so much wonderful work. So I take it, so the show feels energetic, and it feels like there's a bigger crowd than last year. Is that what I hear from you?
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting, just putting my Patriot Mobile spin on this thing. I've talked to a lot of people, obviously, and we've been doing this. This is our 3rd year doing SHOT Show, 3rd year sponsoring the Gundies. And I've talked to a lot of people who have made the switch to Patriot Mobile, and I thank them for that. And they just confirm everything you already know. The service is great. The customer support's outstanding. But I wanted to talk to people who haven't made the switch. These are people, 2A people, that know what we do. They know our brand. They know what we stand for, yet they haven't made the switch. And I think, Mark, I figured out what's going on. They have FOSO. You know what FOSO is?
This will be good. Tell me.
FOSO is the fear of switching over. It's FOSO. They've got FOSO because they say, hey, it's my cell phone. It's got to work. And once I tell them, hey, man, we have all 3 networks. The service is great. If you have cell phone service in this country today, you can make the switch to Patriot Mobile, and you're going to get the same or better coverage that you have today. So the other thing I hear from these people. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to say I have to interject here because I'm going to bet the word Verizon came up this week in conversation. You're chuckling. It did, didn't it? Because I've been mentioning that on the air. Guys,
man.
You have Patriot, you didn't have a problem, right? So let's just get it out there.
It's been all over the news. It's the thing people are talking about is what happened to Verizon. So it's funny when that happens, and it happens to all the big carriers a couple times a year. And when it happens, our phones blow up because people know that we have all three networks. And I can do something truly unique with our Patriot Mobile One product, which is I can have 2 active lines on 2 different networks on a single smartphone. What that means is for the people that had a single carrier like Verizon and that network goes down, they don't have the use of their cell phone. When you're on Patriot Mobile One, when that happens, you have your backup line. You don't miss a beat. You have your data, all your apps work, you can make a call, you can get text, everything else. You don't miss a beat. And so we sell a lot of lines around the times when this happens to the big networks.
You mean people aren't getting suckered with that $20 bill they're getting from Verizon?
Here's the question I have. It's like, okay, you had a day off of your work because of that. What's your time worth? And here you're talking about a $20 credit. Come on, right?
Yeah, that was an embarrassment. That was true. And guys, Patriot Mobile One, if you remember, you rolled that out on this show. Was it the NRA or was it at SHOT last year? I think it was at SHOT last year.
I think it was. Yeah, we actually, the first time we promoted it on any radio show was with you guys.
Yeah.
And we got a really good response out of it. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Guys, Patriot Mobile, you hear me talk about it every day. And if you're watching on your devices, and please don't be watching if you're driving. Don't be that person. But I'm holding up a Patriot Mobile activated phone. You can do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's really easy. I'll just go ahead and throw that out right now. But it's patriotmobile.com/AAR. So I don't hear a lot of background right now. So I'm going to guess you're in a little quiet area at your booth right now. Am I right?
Well, I used this opportunity to get off my feet, head back to my room for a little bit, grab a little room service lunch.
I'm glad I could help, Scott.
There you go. Because I appreciate that.
It makes for long days. There's no question about it. So you're there for the remainder of the week, right? Now you're going to be. Are you guys flying back into Dallas this weekend coming up?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's getting sketchy because of all the weather. My flight is still hanging on I'm heading back tomorrow morning, but some of our other team that wasn't scheduled to leave till Saturday have had their flights already canceled. So we're scrambling a little bit here, as is a lot of the people here. So that's another thing people are talking about is this big winter storm. But just safe travels to everyone out there.
Yeah, and what happens during big winter storms with cell service from time to time?
That's another opportunity to talk about Patriot Mobile One, because that happens quite often, especially when you're talking about icy conditions. A lot of times the towers will have problems. Another great opportunity to have Patriot Mobile One and know that you've got a backup line there in case something happens. And then another chance to plug Patriot Mobile Connect, which are our mobile hotspots, the Wi-Fi hotspots we have. Those are incredible. And I'm going to send you one, Mark. We got a brand new custom branded one. It's got American flag on the top. I'm going to send you one. You're going to use this thing and you're going to love it, because it literally, throw it in your backpack, throw it in your truck, and as you're moving around the country, it just picks up the strongest signal. It's carrier agnostic, so it's always searching for the strongest signal no matter which tower it's pinging, and you got your data.
All right, that's an important point. Let's revisit that again. It's service provider agnostic, so it finds whatever signal is out there, no matter what, and always the strongest. Am I hearing that right? Because that's a game changer for a lot of people. You know how I do what I do when I'm out and about. So that's a game changer for somebody like me.
It is, Mark, and you're exactly right. It's constantly searching for the strongest signal. It's gonna dynamically switch from one tower to the next. So if you're moving down the road, if you're traveling, it works great. But here's the other cool thing for a guy that does what you do. We've actually had some of our radio hosts and influencers that have run their podcast from a live location off of this this Patriot Mobile Connect device, and that's how good it works. It's just incredible.
Well, I have to ask you this because I know Greg's going to tell me we've only got 30 seconds, and I'm so glad I could help get you off your feet. Relax, chill out. I know how busy that show is, believe me, after 26 years. But when you're out and about, have you had a chance to talk to the Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile people at their booths, or have you been too busy to get to their booths at the SHOT Show?
It's pretty funny, Mark, actually.
Oh, I had to set it
up. I said that on stage at the Gunnies. I said, you're not going to see any of those guys setting up shop at the SHOT Show. I can tell you that. But that was a good one.
Guys, Patriot Mobile wears it on their sleeve, ladies and gentlemen. Scott, I love you, man. I wish we had more time together, and I wish I was out there with you. We're getting ready to call this segment, but thank you for being here, and thanks for playing along. I had to throw that out there because I have been mentioning that all week. Guys, you're not going to see anybody but Patriot out there. And there's a reason for that because Patriot Mobile supports your right to bear arms. Scott Coburn, Patriot Mobile. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Have a great show. Safe travels coming back. We'll talk to you after you get back. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Scott Coburn, Patriot Mobile. And I'm really glad we could help get him off his feet out there because if you've ever been to one of those shows and had to man or woman one of those booths, you know how difficult it is. It's long days. We'll be back with Jim Irvine right after this.
I'd reschedule for Monday if I was anybody out there.
And when you're out there, you don't want to be stuck there like that. Good heavens. Welcome back, guys.
At least there's plenty to do.
Radio is proudly brought to you by Help Us Defend Freedom. NRA.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. I'm going to take a sip of my sugar-free Red Bull now because why do that during the break, as I always say. And guys, thanks for letting me know. We did set up the Rumble deal, and it looks like we've worked through it. The show, well, Greg, I understand, is live on Rumble. I just went over and checked, and sure enough, and Rumble, believe it or not, after a couple weeks, made it easy.
How about that?
So how about that? Yeah, it shows you what I know about what I'm doing. Hey, first thing I did today that worked, and I didn't even know it. Right? That's it. Hold on, let me take a sip of the sugar.
I gotta love technology. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes it just works.
Well, I'm taking a sip of this. Why don't you introduce our next guest?
Oh, our next guest is Jim Irvine. Jim's out in Vegas at SHOT Show as well.
No,
he's not. Oh,
no.
I thought Jim was.
No, I talked to him a couple days ago. And let's just bring him in. Jim, you're not in Vegas, right? You're.
Well, that's why you should introduce him.
I am not. I have done the SHOT Show. It's crazy. It's hard for me to believe. Greg talking about it was bigger than last year. Like any year you've ever gone, how on earth can you put more people and more stuff in that setup? It's unexplainable how big and massive SHOT Show is.
It is unexplainable. I was surprised to hear from Scott in that previous segment that it's more crowded this year than last. I've heard mixed about that. I guess it depends on where you're at on the floor, what you see, what your visuals are. But I know it's
Yeah.
You know, the average attendance there every year runs about 85,000. It's a huge show.
Well, this time last year we're also inaugurating a president, so that could have had something to do with it.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we did that through Obama. We've done that a number of times. It falls during that week, and I remember when Obama was first inaugurated in 2016 or 2012 when we were out there, and the mood on the floor was gear up. We're going to sell a ton of guns, and that happened. But Jim, right now, as you know, as we speak, the industry is down by what? You and I talked about this on the phone off air just a couple days ago. What's the number? Close to 50% right now, isn't it?
I think it's 42% was the estimate that last year was down over the year prior. So it is close to 50%. It is massive. So, but I was thinking about this. For us, like one of my New Year's resolutions is I'm getting to the range more often. I'm shooting more often. I'm doing dry practice. I'm incorporating that in my daily stuff. That is like something. I did some training last week, and it's like, look, if this is about protecting your life and your family, then you owe it to yourself. Just spend, if all you spent was 2 to 5 minutes a day doing some dry fire exercises or working with a cert gun or just basic stuff, that's how you get really good at some simple things. It's one of my New Year's resolutions. And with the gun sales down, you know what? That's an excuse to go buy some more guns and ammo for me this year.
Yeah, it is. You know, people's disposable income has been whacked over the 4 years of Biden. And as of yesterday, wait a minute, what am I wrong on that? Yeah, it was yesterday, was Donald Trump's actual 12-month anniversary. And he spent that in Switzerland, just absolutely skewering everybody, every woke leader in Europe. It was wonderful to watch. But yeah, he's been in office a year now. There's that Trump slump, that Trump effect. We've talked about this. You know, we've seen these ebbs and flows, you and I together over many years in this industry. We see the ups, we see the downs, and we weather through it. This one's been particularly hard. And I'll be very honest here. I was reluctant to make a prediction this year as to what would happen in attendance with that down. But as you just heard from Patriot, the after parties and all have been big. I would have thought that would have been something that would have been cut back somewhat. I know AWR was at the Smith & Wesson party. Daniel Defense throws a huge one every year, and I'm going to miss not being at those guys' party. It's always a tremendous amount of fun. But were you shocked to hear that this year, with knowing that attendance is high when you know that the industry itself is somewhat depressed?
I was, and especially the after parties rocking, because when I've talked to the industry people over the last several months, I mean, everybody's down. Everybody, like, what are we going to do? It's just like, it's horrible. It is a horrible time for business and the firearm stuff because of the threats. And so the fact that they're spending money on those parties and people are excited and happy to be there. Maybe they just need a release, and that's what's going on. But it's always interesting politically. Are the politicians who are best for our rights are worst for our industries? It's 180 degrees out of phase, and it's just always like that.
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird. It's hard to put your finger on it, but no, that's a good thing. And what I'm really enjoying watching it shot this year, not being there, but paying careful attention and speaking to people throughout the day about it as they're going about their days, is the amount of younger people there. That's something that this industry, the firearms industry, ladies and gentlemen, has needed for many, many years, is the ability to reach out to a younger crowd. All right. It's the younger people that are coming up behind people like you and I, Jim, at some point. Not that we're old, but we're getting older. We're veterans in this. And it's really great to see those younger 20s, 25, 30-year-olds, and they're out there in droves. And many of them for the first time. And it's fun to watch them for the first time and look back at my first shot over all those years and see, wow, I remember that. It went by like that, just in the blink of an eye. And here they are enjoying their first, second, and third SHOT Show. And that excitement is good. And it's good for the industry, but does it drive sales? Eventually it will.
You and I have been talking about the need to recruit younger people for well over a decade. And it seems like for a decade, we weren't making any progress.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We tried different things, but it just didn't seem to happen. It is absolutely happening now. 100% agree with you. It's amazing the expansion of gun owners with young people and the excitement about it. Look, I'm a pilot. I often fly with young flight attendants, and they ask me, and they want to know, hey, I want to get my license. I bought a gun. Where do I go get training and stuff? They are excited about this, especially the women. So it is definitely different than it has been for the last 20, 30 years.
That demographic, women and minorities across the country, have been the two fastest growing demographics, and that is showing absolutely no sign of slowing down whatsoever. And to see the women in attendance at SHOT this year, so that whole leftist adage of a bunch of old white racist guys, okay, we've heard that about NRA for decades, is just blown right out of the water. You go to SHOT, you see black, white, Hispanic, green, yellow, blue, male, female, all age groups by the tens and tens of thousands. Now, there are some companies that are doing really well. I made a prediction. I don't know what the numbers are, but it'll be interesting to see it shake out. I thought Glock made some brilliant moves by doing what they did relative to a new product lineup. I was asked the question, well, let me ask you this, Mark, are you going to trade your Glock in, of which I have one sitting here? I have a car. I have a Taurus. I've got two cars sitting over here in the studio with me within earshot of each other. Are you going to trade yours in for the new model? And I said, oh, heck no. I'm just going to buy the new model. I'm going to trade in my old worn out jeans. I'm going to buy the new model. And I think if that's magnified, as it likely will be, I think Glock made a brilliant decision. Jim, we're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, there's a few things I want to cover with you. Uvalde and the cop getting off the hook on a jury is mind-boggling to me, and I want to have that conversation with you. I want to touch on Virginia with you, and I want to touch on the Hawaii SCOTUS case with you because I know you're up on all this. And then I have to ask you, as an American Airlines pilot, is my daughter's flight coming back from Phoenix on Sunday going to be hampered coming back into Atlanta? I think I know the answer to that question already. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We'll be back for two more segments with the great Jim Irvine. You know Jim from Faster Saves Lives. And I'll tell you a fun story about Jim. If it weren't for Jim, I probably wouldn't be in front of this mic. We'll be back right after this. All right, we got some. Welcome back, guys. 2 more segments to go. Jim Irvine coming back. The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show. Greg, we're off on the timing of that Patriot Mobile rejoin. I mean, we had Scott in. Too bad we weren't running that in the first segment. Welcome. It happens. It's kind of locked in there in the queue, ladies and gentlemen, and moving it around kind of a mess. It just would have been nice. Anyway, welcome back to the CZ Studios. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom. You know where to go get Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/AAR. They're actually at the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show in support of your right to bear arms. The 3 big ones, others aren't. And that speaks volumes, ladies and gentlemen. Patriot Mobile, you heard Scott in the first segment. He's the real deal. Patriot is the real deal. So visit them, join them, patriotmobile.com/AAR, and take advantage of some really fun discounts over there. Don't lose your service. They go down, Patriot stays up. It's pretty much that simple, and you've got great phone service. You can also find all of our other great partners, including the National Rifle Association, at armedamericanradio.com. And while you're there, speaking of SHOT Show, stay on with the industry deal. Crossbreed Holsters is out there. Just mad props to Crossbreed Holster over all these years. And Barrel Buddy is roaming those floors as well, barrelbuddy.com. Make sure to clean your guns the right way. Excuse me. Dry air is just killing me over here with all the heat running constantly out here. Not used to that down here. Barrelbuddy.com. Use the promo code AAR. You can also sign up as an affiliate and make some money in the process. So that's a win-win all the way around. Clean guns, make a few bucks. It's that simple. Barrelbuddy.com. And budsgunshop.com, our exclusive online retailer. We love those guys. Support them all. budsgunshop.com. Jim Irvine, welcome back, brother.
Always great to be here. And super excited today. I don't know if it's because it's the first time this year, but just super excited to be part of your show.
Well, it's fun, and I wouldn't have a show, and we're having some issues with internet around here today. It's kind of locking up on it. Well, it's not locking up, but it's buffering, and again, that's out of my control, ladies and gentlemen. So I apologize if you're seeing some buffering. Jim, we wouldn't be doing radio if it wasn't for you, and I love to tell this story. It's fun because you reached out to me back in 2008. That's going back a ways, and said, "Hey, man, I got to do this radio show up here in Ohio. Can you co-host with me? Because you can talk better than I can and longer than I can, and I'm not sure what to do." I said, "Sure." So I jumped in with you for about 6 or 7 episodes, and Armed American Radio was born after that. So congratulations. Thank you, man. And congratulations. Thank you for doing that. We likely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. It's a fun story to tell.
Thank you. Because when it came time to renew, people asked me, how can I quit doing the show? And the answer was, it's easy. Mark Walters is doing a better show than I ever did. And that's the show you're going to want to listen to, which freed my time up to work on political and other things. So our Second Amendment rights in this country got stronger because you have a show and you do an awesome job at it. And it freed up some bandwidth for me to do some other things. And we're all part of this. You and I and all your listeners, your sponsors, we all work together on this because we have to. We're at war with the people who want to deny our rights. Like there's no limit to what they won't do. So
they'll never stop.
And like you said, it's fun. No, never.
They'll never stop. They never will. And by the way, thank you for those kind words.
Liberty is eternal vigilance.
Yeah, let's point out, too, and thank you for the kind words. Let's point out that the bandwidth that you're talking about freeing you up, you did a ton of work in Ohio working with the legislature there and were instrumental in changing a lot of laws in the state of Ohio. And those of you that live in Ohio, you can thank Jim personally. Not single-handedly, but boy, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for your activism there in Ohio, the laws would not be what they are today. Concealed carry would look different. Places off limits would look different. Most people didn't realize that Ohio was an open carry state. Law enforcement would be acting differently if it weren't for you and your efforts, and that you've had a huge, huge impact. And then, of course, Faster Saves Lives came along. Tell us real quick about that.
So, yes, Faster Saves Lives is a school safety program. And we have the ability now in this country, we have the knowledge and experience to end school shootings. There's no more reason to have school shootings other than the people in charge haven't done their jobs. And when you look at Uvalde, we see it again, just like Parkland, just like Newtown, just like name whatever one you want, where they cry about the police and the police get charged, and they always get acquitted. And the reason is it's not their job to come save your life or your kid's life, because they don't have custody of the children. Guess who does? Your school. If you want to reckless endangerment of 19 counts, child endangerment, the school didn't have a plan to stop it. Their plan was, we're going to let somebody else handle our emergency. Guess what, folks? I am an airline pilot. If I have an engine failure and I go, somebody please come do my job for me, but nobody does, and so all my passengers died, who's going to get held responsible? The controller who didn't do anything over the phone?
No, it'll be pilot error. It'll be you.
The passengers in the back? It's me. I am the captain of the airplane. I am legally and morally duty bound to protect my passengers, my crew, the plane, and the cargo. It's written into federal law. Well, guess what? The schools have custody of our children, and they have a legal and moral obligation to protect them, and they failed. And if your school doesn't have a plan to them stop the killer in 30 seconds or less, then they have decided it's okay to get into at least double-digit casualties. That's the time in math. You want to know about it? Read Ed Monk's book, First 30 Seconds. I know Ed's been on your show before. It's really simple. We used to lose dozens and sometimes hundreds of children in school fires. We have not lost a child in a school fire, K through 12, the entire 50 states in over 60 years now. Well, how about we copy the firefighters model? How about we put in some redundant overlapping layers of protection and end death by firearms and shooting? You have the ability to do it. You just chose not to.
That is a choice. That makes me wonder if it's not a choice, an intentional choice. It's not about the gun, ladies and gentlemen. If they know that somebody armed can stop it and they choose not to do that, what does that say? It says that they're okay. That includes politicians. They're okay with allowing this to happen. And John Lott has got countless times brought it up on this program, time after time after time. Ryan Petty, who lost his daughter, regular guest on the program, time after time after time. We see that if there was armed security at the school, they wouldn't even go there. They go there intentionally because it is a gun-free zone. Now, Uvalde parents, this one's a little different to me. I knew this guy was going to get off. I knew he was. But was I shocked when I heard he got off? Yeah, only because it was so egregious. If you go back and look at what originally happened, what happened right at the outset of Uvalde, you had cops standing around doing absolutely nothing, looking at their phones, talking to their wives, while gunfire was occurring down the hall from them, and they did nothing. And I thought that might be a little bit of a mitigating factor under these circumstances. But you know what the parents said? And I quote them from an Microsoft Now or MSN piece. It is what was to be expected. They were not shocked by it. Victims' parents sobbed over it. But, go ahead.
Look, it's gut-wrenching. You and I both have kids, and we would die for our kids in a heartbeat. So I can't imagine what they go through, except for talking to somebody like Ryan or all the other people we know that have lost their children. They tell us the worst stress we ever go through. The other thing that's interesting in Uvalde is the police officer worked for the school. So the school district employed the police department. That make them part of this responsibility. I don't know, because I don't know exactly how the pieces went. Responsibilities got doled out. But you are right. It was a disaster. And folks, you know what? Yeah, this was bad. But guess what? With the FASTER program, we've worked with law enforcement, and there are some awesome law enforcement officers in this country, a lot of them. But there's also a lot of them that aren't well trained. And as I always ask the cities, if your cop's not well trained, is that the cop's fault, or is that your city's fault? Is that the county's fault? Is that the state's fault?
That's the city's fault. It's the politician's fault.
We need.
Jim, we'll be back. Yeah, music means we're taking a break. When we come back, I want to go into some more quotes on this, and we'll readdress that because you are spot on. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues. One more segment with Jim Irvine. This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, some things are just no-brainers in life, and this is one of them. Why would you not have an attorney on retainer if you carry a firearm and it's $37 a month? Why? And if you sit down and ask yourself that question, you're not going to come up with an answer other than I really need to have an attorney in my hip pocket because I do carry a gun every day. And I know that something bad can happen, and something bad can be me being investigated or worse, charged with a crime, particularly if I live behind the blue wall in certain areas and have overzealous prosecutors. But you're not entitled to an attorney during an investigation. Would you rather have one or not? Because your attorney can squash the investigation and end it before it ever leads to a charge. And the one thing you're going to think, if it happens to you, and I guarantee it, and it does happen to people, that's why the law firm that's all they fight. They're fighting dozens and dozens of these cases every single day across the country because it does happen, and it can happen to you. And the person that doesn't have the attorney on retainer is like, oh man, I should have listened. I should have had it, and I don't. Now you need an attorney because you're being charged, or the investigation's going on for a year, and you're not entitled to one. And it's likely going on that long because you didn't have an attorney working on your behalf. It's a no-brainer. Attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. And I'll tell you another one that's a no-brainer as well. Is Greg and I were talking at the break. My little puppy dog, Riley, woke me up at about 2:15 this morning until I took her outside. Then when I got her back inside, it was raining, it's cold. She wanted to play. I played with her for a little while, gave her some treats. She laid back down and went to sleep. I said, well, I'm up. Made a pot of blackout coffee, and it kept me going. I just sat there and ripped my guitar and practiced till about 6:30 this morning. Set of headphones on, not bothering anybody, drinking blackout coffee. It kept me going. Finally fell back asleep later because I can sleep when I drink coffee too, but blackout coffee kept me going for several hours. It's blackoutcoffee.com, our newest sponsor at Armed American Radio. Buy a bag from them. It's better if you just get on the monthly program like I do, but go buy a bag and try it, please. Support them. You heard Jim talking about how we have to stick together, and this is one of the easiest ways to do it. All right? Support the businesses that support your right to bear arms over the airwaves. It is absolutely mission critical that we band together now, and they're all great products. Blackout Coffee is fantastic. It's blackoutcoffee.com/AAR. Take advantage of it. Enjoy it. It's good, strong, hearty, robust coffee. And it's far better than what you get in the grocery stores. And they support every single pro-gun group out there. So if you don't have the means to do it, all you got to do is buy a bag of coffee, and they'll do it for you. It's a no-brainer again. Jim Irvine, welcome back in, brother. Real quick about Uvalde, let me read a quick quote here. From Brett Cross, whose 10-year-old son was among those killed. He put a post out yesterday that the verdict doesn't change the truth. It doesn't change the fact that those kids waited 77 minutes. It doesn't change the fact that Adrian had the opportunity to save them and refused to do so. He's heartbroken, he said, and I quote, but not shocked. It is what was to be expected. Those jurors represented Texas, and what Texas just told everyone is our kids don't matter. What Texas just told everyone is that your kids don't matter, that they will always choose the cop over children. Now, I don't happen to believe that they choose the cop over the children. I don't believe that's what went on. I can certainly understand his point of view, Jim. But the system is going to protect itself on the bigger level and the bigger scale because what happened there was so egregious. 77 minutes and nothing was done. It took a Border Patrol agent who showed up and said, what are y'all doing? And went in and stopped it. A mess, Jim.
It's frustrating. He's so close because he's right on everything, but he makes the wrong conclusion. It's not that their state's protecting law enforcement. It's that it's not their job.
Right.
Look, for parents who wonder, like, why should I get involved? My school's good. This, you know what? He thought the same thing. I'll tell you what you should really be regretting is that he didn't go to his school before that happened and demand that they had a plan to save the kids instead of hoping somebody else came and did their job. That's where parents mess up. You know what? That we all make mistakes in that. We're all busy, but like there's literally nothing more important. As far as the Border Patrol, let me just tell this quick story. It was probably 6 months after Uvalde, the massacre there. And I had a Border Patrol agent on my airplane. So I get to know when there's armed staff. Border Patrol, he's armed, he's going wherever the heck he's going. And I just asked him, I said, hey, were you or any of your friends at Uvalde? And he looks at me, he goes, why are you asking? And I said, well, if it weren't for Border Patrol, I think they'd still be waiting down there trying to figure out what to do. His shoulders dropped. He just turns. He goes, man, that was horrible. He goes, yeah, no one had any leadership. No one was doing anything. It was a disaster. Border Patrol showed up and they're like, look, we don't really care what your protocols are. We don't care who's in charge. We don't care about anything other than going in, saving the kids, getting the killer. And that's what they did. Mm-hmm. It's mind-boggling to read what happened down there. But guess what? Lots of our local law enforcement aren't trained in this. Going to a seminar, watching a PowerPoint show does not train you how to deal with active killers. Yeah. That's why we do the Faster Saves Lives program. Every cop that's ever come through it says, wow, I can't believe I haven't had this training as a cop. You know, and look, there's cops that have the training and way more. It depends where your department is. Right. Or the big cities, I think, do a pretty darn good job. But that's not where we have these problems. It's in the suburban and rural areas.
Yeah, and they know it. Killers know it. They're very well aware of that.
Exactly.
A lot has pointed that out countless times, not just on this show, but in his writings on, I've lost count of how many television appearances he's made, and the left always comes after him, but he speaks the truth. That's why they come after him. You know, worse.
Yes, absolutely.
In a post-Columbine environment, if anybody gets a mulligan in this, I would say it would be Columbine, because the nation hadn't really experienced anything like that before. And if anybody got a break on that, it would be law enforcement really was caught off guard at Columbine. But in a post-Columbine environment, that should never have happened ever again, period. And Uvalde was a disgrace what occurred down there. But the Supreme Court has told us many times that the cops do not have to be there to protect you. They've made that clear. And I believe 3 different cases. Ladies and gentlemen, talk to your school districts. Please do that. Jim, let's talk briefly about Virginia, a mess in the state of Virginia. What's your advice to those folks? We've got less than a minute. Go ahead.
First of all, for the whole country, understand there's no such thing as a moderate Democrat. That is as ancient as the T-Rex. They don't exist anymore, I don't think. She ran as a moderate Democrat and all the stuff. Look at the proposals. It's absolute draconian. She doesn't care about your life. She cares about it. It's kind of like, I don't even know what to compare it to. It's insane, but it's not insane. It's evil. There is an enormous difference. It is an evil, calculated thing to gain office and use that office to take away your rights, which is taking away your life and the life of your friends and family, children and grandchildren. That is what today's Democratic Party is about. And it kills me to say it, but it is.
It doesn't kill me to say it.
That's what they're trying to do.
It doesn't kill me to say it because it's all true, and it doesn't kill me to say this either. If you live in Virginia, you're now forced to make a decision. Do you comply or not? I wouldn't. That's up to you. It's as simple as that. But I know many, many Virginians are feeling that way. Jim Irvine, I love you, man. Thank you for everything that you do.
If you're not a member of Second Amendment, if you're not a member of Second Amendment Foundation, join, because we're going to sue and we're going to stop Virginia, but we need your help.
SAF.org, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be surprised if you see the Second Amendment Foundation, and I'm being a little funning with you. Don't be surprised. They likely have an office in Virginia coming up. Lately, it's going to be so busy for them over there. Jim Irvine, we love you, man. We appreciate everything that you do and have done for many years. Jim, is my daughter going to make it back on time this weekend from Phoenix on a return flight Sunday from Atlanta real quick?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Pack some extra underwear and some food.
And enjoy being in Phoenix and Scottsdale for a couple extra days. It's a free ride. If you're traveling this weekend coming up, ladies and gentlemen, if those of you that are leaving the SHOT Show, please be safe and travel out there. It's going to be a mess. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We're going to get up and do it again tomorrow, folks, because they don't want us to. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Each and every one of you on the radio tomorrow.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, thanks for being here today. If you're tuned in on Rumble, thanks. I didn't even know we had that fixed. We made an attempt at it today, but I didn't get it confirmed before we went on air. And those of you in the chat that let us know that over on Telegram, thank you for that. So, guys, we should be up on Rumble now every day, assuming that they work right, as long as things aren't buffering like they are right now. Guys, we're done. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. If you got some weather coming, prepare for it in advance. Don't get caught with your pants down. See you on the radio, guys.